Hi, everybody.
Hello there.
I'm Jerry.
And I'm Linda.
We're the Newcomers, and we have a fantastic show for you today.
Looking forward to it.
We have wanted to do this for a long time. If you read the Talk of the Villages or the Villages News, you see there are people complaining and grumbling about these infernal roundabouts all the time. We're blessed to have so many. I like it myself.
I do too. I think it's been fun.
It beats a stop sign. Well, I don't know how fun it is.
I like them.
It's not a merry-go-round, you know.
Oh, I thought it was.
But it eliminates the congestion at the stop signs. You merge as possible. You don't have to wait so long. So it's a good deal. But there are rules for roundabouts. And there are markings on the road. Sometimes they have signs. But there's still confusion everywhere we go. So today we have brought in a couple of experts to talk to you about roundabouts. We are so happy to have two of Sumter County's finest here. We have Under Sheriff Breeden and Captain Siemer. And they're going to give us all the scoop, and then we're going to go for a ride. We are so happy to have you guys here today. Thanks for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for having us.
We're going to talk about roundabouts. Now, the Villages is not the world's top roundabout city, but we have around about 40 some, right?
Last count was around 45, but that's continually growing.
Right. Some people come here, they move here from places wherever, California, Nevada, Michigan, Pennsylvania. They're not used to roundabouts. I really appreciate you agreeing to come and talk to us about it. Are there any hard and fast rules for driving in a roundabout?
There's several, actually. And roundabouts, just so we can make it clear, are kind of designed as a traffic calmer so that, you know, like a four-way stop, everybody's stopping or going through or running stop signs. They're designed to slow traffic and you ease through the roundabout. And it's safer. There is, now don't misunderstand me, there is accidents in the roundabouts, as we all know, but they're less serious than at a four-way intersection. And Captain Siemer, we brought our brochures that we have for the public that we can explain a lot of the rules as we talk about the roundabouts.
Okay, very good. I will insert those during the program then. Okay. Well, my hard and fast rule for roundabouts is I try never to be next to another vehicle as I'm going through. Is that a good first step?
That's a great practice. Never be next to another vehicle as you're going into the roundabout. If you're going to make a right-hand turn, be in the right-hand lane. Before you get to the roundabouts, as you'll see when we take our ride, there's a yield sign prior to the roundabout, and that's exactly what it means. A yield, slow down, look for the traffic that's coming around the roundabout. Slow down. If you're going to make a right-hand turn, you know that, stay in the right-hand lane. And we always tell people, it's important to use your signals when you're in the lane so the other car knows what you're going to do. And we try to tell everybody, don't ride next to one another. You know, give some space.
I'll tell you where I have the issues in a roundabout. It's coming out of one of the neighborhoods. Usually they come out to a roundabout, and you will wait for a clearing and go, but people are coming from the right that are eager to merge, and so you're watching those people. Mm-hmm. And that's where we've had people cut in front of us many times. That's where I think this program is going to benefit. You know, if you're on the main drag, say Morse Boulevard or Buena Vista, you have no right to enter that roundabout if there's a car coming.
Correct. So, and as you're getting to the roundabout, and a lot of people don't notice them, but they have signs that tells you how to navigate the roundabout as to if you're wanting to make a left-hand turn, you're staying in the left-hand lane and you're going around the roundabout to a certain point. If you're going to make a right-hand turn, stay in the right lane, and it explains exactly how to navigate the roundabout.
Well, we're going to take that ride and we'll look at some of those signs and the markings on the road. There are solid lines and there are dotted lines. Now, the dotted lines, what does that mean?
The dotted lines basically mean you can change lanes. That's just like any highway. So dotted lines, you can change lanes. Solid lines do not change lanes.
Okay, and I think some people don't realize that when they're driving in the roundabouts. But we're going to go out, we're going to drive around, and hopefully I won't get a wreck. And I just would like to have a gentleman's agreement that you're not going to give me a ticket today. They didn't say anything, did they? They did not say, they didn't agree.
To be determined.
Yes. All right, well, let's get in there and buckle up and take a ride. We're out here on Hillsborough Trail. We're heading toward our first roundabout. We're going to show you several examples today. Now, this one is a typical roundabout of a neighborhood exiting onto a big road like Morse. Now, that's a big road, isn't it?
That's a big road. That's one of the main roads, and a lot of traffic on that road. And like we talk about, as you approach, you know, be prepared ahead of time. Look for the green sign that tells you how to navigate the roundabout.
Yes. We will point out that sign for you when we get to it. It'll have a drawing on there, and you kind of have to, you'll look at it a few times and then you'll know. You'll memorize it, and it'll be in your neighborhood. You can understand which lane to be in.
And coupled with the green sign is one of the most important signs to me is the yield sign. You know, yield before you go into the roundabout to make sure it's safe to enter the roundabout.
Yeah. Right here we're coming up to the exit, which will automatically raise to let us leave. Right here is where golf carts merge, so we always have to watch for that. Speed limit 20, and there's the green sign. You can see it. It says Moyer Loop, Morse Boulevard to the left and right.
Yep, that's right. And if
So
we're
if we're
going
gonna
to
go
stay on
left-
Morse or Moyer, we'd stay in the right lane. If we're going to go left, we'd stay in the...
We're going to go
Okay.
left, so we're going to stay in the left lane. Wait for that arm to go all the way up. They tear those off all the time.
They do tear them off quite a bit.
So we're in the left lane because we're going to turn left. We're going to go 3/4 of the way around.
And you notice the yield sign.
And we're going to yield. If there's any cars coming whatsoever, we wait. Now, we're pulling into this lane. We're on the left side. Around we go. We're going to stay in our lane. And there we are. We've made a successful trip around the roundabout.
And as we spoke earlier, you know, we spoke about the dotted lines versus solid lines. We highly recommend that even though it is dotted and you can change lanes, that you don't change lanes
Okay.
for safety reasons. If you do need to change lanes, like you just make sure you use your blinker. Make sure when you enter the roundabout, don't travel beside other vehicles. Try to keep spaced out. So
By the way, don't watch my driving too close.
we're keeping a record as we go.
Our viewers watch it real close, man. They get me on these California stops in the golf cart.
Right?
You've been here your whole life and you've seen all these changes, but this was, what, 15 years ago, this was not developed.
15 years ago, this was cow pasture. So it was not developed, and so
Now we have
it is.
Volusia Golf Course over here. It's a beautiful course.
This area is beautiful. The amenities are great. Absolutely no complaints.
So you don't live in the villages. Do you have any palm trees at your house?
I do not. So,
They say you can tell a real person that's moved down here from a native because the natives won't have them.
I do not have any palm trees, and I have a pool and everything. But I don't have any palm trees.
They're a lot of maintenance.
They're a lot of maintenance.
See the green sign up there? We're going to go straight through this one. So it says either lane, left or right, can go straight.
Right.
I personally think it's safer to be in this lane to go straight.
It is safer in the right lane. Just simply, it's less maneuvering, and you're already in the lane you need to be in.
There's the yield sign. We're going to wait. Nothing at all. We're lucky today. Even though our seasonal residents are here, you can see them. And I love the roundabouts because right there you saw an example of a line of cars waiting from, they're probably leaving Walmart.
Right.
And they don't have to wait at a light. They can squeeze in as possible, and it goes much faster to me.
Well, the roundabouts are, they're designed, they slow traffic and they calm traffic, but yet, unlike a four-way intersection, you don't have to wait for a whole red light cycle. You can go at your leisure, and it actually kind of speeds up the moving process. You don't have to wait in a line.
Now, speaking of
as you can
that,
see.
yeah, we're coming up to a red light. It's actually just turned green. But this is the intersection of Morse Boulevard and 466A. Very similar to the one a couple of miles to the west of Buena Vista and Morse, or 466A.
So we just got lucky and caught the green light cycle, but had we not, you've seen how far we'd be sitting back, and we'd be waiting.
But this would be a monster roundabout, wouldn't it?
This would be a monster roundabout. So,
if you're following along, we're passing Colony Cottage Rec Centers on our right there. You can't see it. That's Colony Boulevard. I'm going to go to Beef O'Brady's and get that wing special after a while. Buy 10, get 10 free.
Wednesday wings.
Yeah.
I do that myself.
We'll go through one more roundabout in this direction and show you. And we're going to do a total, what do they call that, a 360. We're going to come back this, no, a 180. We're going to do a 180 and come back the way we've come. So I want to be in the left lane on this one.
Left lane, and you see the green sign coming up.
Right, I
shows you how to navigate all the way around.
Mm-hmm. Odell Circle, left lane. But as you said, the major thing when we get here, we're going to yield.
Yield.
We have been lucky. Look how lucky we are.
We have been lucky. Need to ride with you more often.
Yeah. What do you think of all these flowers that the villages puts out? Aren't they great?
They're beautiful.
So we're going all the way back around. We're heading back the way we came. We're going to go through a few more. Don't worry. I know you're having fun. It's like being on a carousel. Those cars yielded to us.
They yielded to us, and
That's how they should. The major thing that I think I've learned is read the signs and don't be next to a car if you can in the roundabout. Don't drive next to somebody.
that is the main thing. You know, read the sign, be offensive, know what you're doing before you get there, and you know, key is don't ride next to anybody because they get in a blind spot or whatever. You change the lane, and that's how. The thing about the roundabouts is we have crashes in the roundabouts. Obviously, we have crashes everywhere, but in a roundabout, they're less.
Right, there's no
Damage
head-ons,
to them
supposedly.
because it's more side swipe. It's not
Yeah.
like a head-on crash if you was to run a red light or something.
Mm-hmm.
So, and most of them crashes happen because a vehicle stayed beside another vehicle, and one vehicle may not have seen the turn signal or couldn't see the vehicle in a blind spot.
And here we are waiting. Now, there's no law against driving with one hand, is there? Now,
There
Linda
isn't.
likes to give me a hard time about that. I try to keep that 10 and 2, but you get tired here.
Right? There's no law against it, but I'm not going to tell Linda that because she'll get on to me.
That's right. And another thing that I find, if I had that uniform on, man, I would look out. People that drive with their dog on their lap with their dog sticking out the window, I'm thinking, man, that's hard to drive hard enough by itself without a pet on your lap. Is there a
Well,
law against that?
There's no law against it, but we always do try to preach, you know, distracted driving causes a lot of accidents. It's no different than having your cell phone in your hand or, you know, trying to do something while you're driving. We just urge, you know, if the dog can sit in the passenger seat or something, that's great because that's not a safety distraction because you never know what the dog could do sitting in your lap. And if you get into a crash with your dog sitting in your lap, the potential of your dog getting seriously injured or killed is great.
You saw the sign there. We're going to turn left and go into Moyer Loop, so we have to be in the left lane. If we were turning right or going straight, we'd be in the right lane.
Yeah,
but here's a chance where we have to yield. I was hoping we would. We're waiting for one. And you don't know what these cars are going to do to zip around there. There's another and another.
Everybody's wanting to go this way.
Yeah. Well, here's our chance.
Here's our chance, and as you see, there's the vehicle beside us also. They're going to maintain that lane. We're maintaining ours.
Now here's my hairy point. I want to turn here.
Right.
I had the dotted white line, so I had to
dotted
turn
white
there.
line.
But somebody trying to rush in and squeeze in like the car did in front of us could give us a hard time right there.
But I'm going to tell on you, Jerry, you didn't use your turn signal.
Didn't I? In my mind, I did.
In his mind, he did.
So in the roundabout, you should use turn signal when you're going to...
Anytime you're going to change lanes or anybody, if that way if somebody's behind you, it just, you know, it lets them know, hey, all right, this guy in front of me is fixing to make a lane change.
Okay. Thank you. I've seen you all writing tickets in the villages, and I think it's a great thing.
We do. We're very proactive on traffic. You know, we believe in enforcement. We believe in education. So
I'm just going to
not everybody deserves a ticket, but
I'm going to turn around
education
here.
is great.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if we knew there was no threat of a ticket, hear that turning signal clicking there?
I hear that clicking.
Okay. People would get to where they want to go as fast as possible.
Exactly.
As fast as humanly possible. All right. Hey, I saw that, did you see the lawnmower there? You mentioned to me earlier that you could get a ticket on a lawnmower.
You can get anything on a public roadway. You can get a DUI. A lot of people think that DUIs are restricted to cars. DUI, you can get anything you're operating. You can get a DUI on a bicycle. I was telling you a story that, you know, I arrested a guy at midnight one night in a part of the county. He was driving a tractor down the middle of US 301, so drunk he couldn't see straight. But and I actually about hit the guy on the tractor, and he thought it was better to drive his tractor home from the bar than it was his car. So But absolutely,
Now, do you have a take-home car?
I do.
Now, to refresh your memory, Under Sheriff Breeden here is number 2 in the entire Sumter County force of over 400 employees. So if anybody would have one, I would suspect it would be you and Sheriff Farmer.
And all our deputies have take-home cars. All the patrol cars are take-home cars. So, and that heightens their response time if we have to call people out.
Well, I know when you see a car parked in the driveway, sure makes Linda slow down. I don't have to usually.
And, you know, we're subject to being called out anytime, day or night. So
we're on Moyer Loop now. It's a big half circle that comes out down there by Hillsboro where we were earlier. But there's the driving range and everything here. This is a pretty happening place.
this is a very busy place. You know, I always see a lot of people sitting there watching the sunset at this area right here.
See the sign? There's not a lot of choices here. You're either going to go right on Morse, left on Morse, or you can go straight across. But here's one of the unique ones. Only one lane goes into the roundabout.
One lane goes into the roundabout.
So it's very simple. We'll watch. When we get an opening, we'll go through and we will stay in the right lane because we're going to exit that roundabout.
We're going to exit the roundabout. But, you know, this is the ones where you got to be, you know, offensive and defensive when you go into the lane. If you're going to change lanes, turn signal if you're going to go around that way. But it's easier just to stay in the...
All right, so I'm... Aha!
Got you. We cross, there you go.
Now I got to remember, because nobody uses their turn signal, but we should. That would make it much easier to let people see what we're going to do.
Yeah, and it's a courtesy, and it, you know, it lets people know what you're going to do, and it doesn't leave any doubt. So
now we go through these gate arms. We have an electronic pass that triggers that sensor and raises the arms. Now, if you knock off one of those arms, is that a police issue or is it just between you and the village's issue?
typically it's an insurance issue. A lot of times they'll report them to us so they can do an accident report, but typically insurance companies and the villages just handle it.
I see.
A lot of times the people just say, hey, I hit a gate, you know,
That's $250.
can I pay to just fix the gate and not report it on my insurance? And they'll work that out with the villages.
How many miles of road in Sumter County?
Oh, I don't even know how many to tell you because it changes daily.
It's a large county, isn't it?
It's a large county. We're roughly 530, give or take, square miles.
Wow.
And you can only imagine how many miles of road in the villages alone.
Well, I really want to thank you and Captain Siemer for coming over and helping us out. I think our viewers are going to get kind of a new look at roundabouts and see them more as a positive. You get so many negative comments when, you know, as I told you, I think they help. See some fishermen on the pond over there. See them way down there?
Wonder if we're catching anything.
Yeah.
It's a pretty day to be fishing. But no, roundabouts are great. They, you know, like I say, there is crashes and roundabouts. I'm not going to sit here and tell you there's not. However, the likelihood of getting seriously injured in a roundabout is greatly less than, say, a four-way intersection because, you know, you're at a slower speed and you are usually a side swipe or something like that. It's not a head-on collision or a T-bone collision.
Well, if you don't mind, we'll just head back to the house and we'll do a little wrap-up and get you back on your mission to serve and protect.
Absolutely. Thank you for having us.
I want to take this opportunity to thank you both. It was so nice of you to come out with us today. We learned a lot. I know our viewers are going to love this video. First of all, you look great, you know, and you know so much about Sumter County and about driving in roundabouts. It was a lot of fun. And I didn't get a ticket.
You might have to brush up on some of your skills, Jerry.
Is there any law regarding wives constantly nagging their husband when they're driving?
I've been looking for it for a long time. I haven't found it yet.
Well, thanks so much, guys. I really appreciate it, and I'm glad to know that you're out there for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
If you liked our video today, please press that like and subscribe button and share it with all your friends. Until next time.
See you when you get here.